What's going on? So I'm here with Shelby, man. Honestly, this has been such a long journey for us. It's been such a long journey.
It's felt even longer.
Oh my God, this felt so long. And now we're here at the Pillars retreat. And honestly, I mean, we've done a couple team trips now, but this is like the first real one here, man, with structure.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what are your thoughts on literally this entire journey from like where we started to where we are now?
Well, it's been a wild ride. So it was back in 2018 when we first met, and we were out there just hustling. You were slinging deals in the investor space, and I was doing agent and investor stuff. You're still in the military. And between Ruben connected us and came up with the idea of doing 5 Pillars together. And it's been so crazy because, when you start out and it's like all fire, all gasoline, so much energy, so much hype. And so the transformation over the years has been really interesting because we took that and ran with it and then really evolved into a much more like mature and structured business owners instead of just like all fire.
Yeah. All gas, no brake. And it's so funny you said that because I was literally thinking about it, thinking about the maturity journey that we both taken, and we talked about it a lot, like with, all of it. But as we both went through our own lives and in our journey in lives, we can see in each other when things started to switch inside the company as well. You know what I mean? Which has been absolutely insane. So I guess like what's your proudest point as to where we are now?
Well, there's so many. I think that like Pillars Retreat in general, like this whole weekend, I'm super proud of this weekend. Because, when we did team trip, our first team trip ever in 2019, I remember we were in the Broadfoot bungalow. We used to have our office in a residential house. And we used all of the rooms in the house with like standing desks and like the whole thing was just an office. We had a desk on the front porch where we put the intern out there and worked. But I remember, and she would cut our grass.
Yeah. Oh, did she? Oh my God.
We had the intern cut the grass. It was great. And actually, that's when we had too many cars out there and then the city shut us down. But that's another story for another day. But we were sitting around the table in that house and someone was like, damn, I really want to go to Costa Rica. And we were like, yeah, we're all going to Costa Rica. And then like 2 months later, all of us were in Costa Rica. And then we did Tulum the next year. We did Belize. We did Colombia. And this is the first year where we've stayed stateside and we've had it to be not just like an adventure abroad, but also like really thoughtful and intentional with our conversations, the content, and the relationships here. So I think it really just mirrors our journey.
Exactly. Yeah. I was thinking the same thing because obviously we were going hard. We work hard, we party hard. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that was the vibe of the whole community.
100%.
And kind of as we matured, we started to realize, I mean, you got married, I'm about to get married, and there's more important things to the progress of an individual than just making money.
Totally.
And so now we got our top 25 of like our hardest, most committed people. I'm not saying like they're necessarily the top performers, but they're the most committed to their own journey. And we put them all in one house.
Yeah.
It's freaking beautiful.
Yeah,
man.
it has been beautiful.
I know yesterday we spoke a lot about building personal brand, right? And being able to like really own who you are. And you kind of led that conversation. So like, what are your thoughts on that exercise? And maybe what are some of your takeaways or some of their takeaways that really shocked you?
Well, one of the things we talked about is how both of us, back when we first got started, built our entire identities around like achievements. It's like, what do we want? We want 100 doors. We want a big team. We want multiple markets. We want money and cars and the freedom and the whole thing. And so a lot of it, what we talked about yesterday, is what happens if you get that and you realize that it's actually not what you wanted.
Yeah.
The realities of that life is not what you wanted. And so we talked a lot about not just what you want, but more importantly, like who you want to be. And I think breaking that down, and at the end of the day, if the doors, if the money, if the business is all gone, if you're still working every day to be the person that you want to become, it's like you're at a much better foundation for life.
Yeah, absolutely. And you attract more of what you want. I know a lot of that sounds like foo-foo, and people are like, oh, this law of attraction and everything else. But literally everybody in there resonated with it, right? It's like, hey, I made whatever, $500,000 in GCI, 750 GCI, and I don't feel any better. Like, I don't feel like I've accomplished anything, you know? So I think that was a great discovery. Was there anything like that they shared with you that was maybe more insightful, or maybe you didn't expect it to kind of resonate with them that way?
Trying to think. Nothing jumps to mind. Do you have anything?
Well, I like the openness about it. You know, so there's a guy, well, we can put his name out there.
Call him out.
Yeah, call him out. Like Kevin very specifically and John were both saying like, this is such a great exercise because I'm currently lost.
Yeah.
I don't know if I even want to sell real estate anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And both of them dudes are killers.
Yeah.
I mean, they are our top performers, you know? So sometimes it's not all about the money.
Yeah. Well, it's really cool too to like break it down and then realize that everyone's going through the same
thing. Right. Nobody's on an island.
Yeah.
100%. And so today, this is kind of our final day here. We had like a little bit of a shorter day, but we covered a lot of business processes.
We're coming back though.
Oh, we coming back. We got most stuff. What was your, now I'm selfishly asking because I led today's conversation. So maybe what were some of your takeaways from that about the work process?
Oh, so fun. The workflow. So, and that's one thing too, like yesterday was very much like vision and like how you feel and who you want to be and, you know, your personal brand and stuff like that. And then today was really cool because it was more like tactical, more like, okay, in your businesses, what is the actual workflow laid out? So what I liked about it is that, you know, Drake and I are about to transition into a new business venture. So it was perfect time to lay out like the skeleton for what we're going to build on next year.
Yeah. So. It's solid. And I mean, I got some good feedback from that too. So it always feels good when you feel like it's impactful currently in somebody's life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I mean, as we wrap up this weekend, what are some of your favorite highlights? What are you looking forward to next year? Because we're going to continue this thing.
Yeah, favorite. Honestly, like I freaking loved the team building stuff every morning.
Yeah.
I've been loving the starts to our day.
Yeah.
Because I love that we also have like duties. Everyone has like a role and responsibility. But like Jason Boyce has the coffee ready. 5:30 a.m. Get your coffee, and then by 7 we're out there. And day 1 we did a really fun like exercise activity, and then polar plunge into the freaking
this
lake.
Old ass lake.
Yeah, and all of like the health benefits to it, why it's important. And everyone liked it so much we did it another day in a row, like the next day. So, and the scavenger hunt was so fun, I thought. So,
and I remember there was a lot of like concern about what type of activities are people going to be bought in.
Right. Oh, they were bought in.
Y'all should have seen the scavenger hunt. It was intense. The dudes was pushing people.
Yeah, and they like locked the gate.
Yeah.
Out of my way. So,
absolutely.
I loved that. And then, so the other part that I love probably more than anything is we had our content and we thought it was impactful, and they did the activities and enjoyed it and got a lot out of it. But what made me the most happy is that after like it was done, our content was over, they stayed around and talked and shared, brainstormed, bounced ideas off each other, like learned from each other. And I feel like that is the power of these type of activities, because you can learn anything online, but every business is solo. Even if you're on a team, you are the one doing the work. No one can do it for you. And so having someone to bounce those ideas that bounce around in your head, but like bounce them off people and get live feedback, so powerful.
100%. Because I mean, when everybody separated, they were able to help each other and be like, I like this, but this has worked for me.
Right.
Or have you thought about this? And I mean, now people are going to walk away. I mean, even so many people were talking about different businesses outside of real estate. And now they're ready to go home and have a farm and a survival school.
Right.
And everything
and a brand new YouTube channel.
And a brand new YouTube channel all at the same time. You know? But and there was one more thing that you wanted to talk about. What was that?
The last thing that I really liked is like our story time, like around the campfire, where, you know, the lights kind of come down and it's like a more quiet, and you share, you know, pieces about yourself that are vulnerable and raw, and it helps, again, people understand that they're not alone and
Mhm.
everyone's going through shit. And you do have people out there who get you in the business side of you,
Right.
but also like the human side as well.
Yeah. And so I was the one that spoke the first night. We got somebody else speaking, and it was a little challenging to be a little bit vulnerable, but because everybody was so open and like you said, a lot of them went through something very similar.
Yeah.
So it resonated, and a lot of people came up afterwards, which made it a little bit easier to open up about it. But to your point, even after that, after I left, the conversations kept going.
Oh my God.
And people were being able to say like, hey, you know what? The reason I act this way, the reason I'm angry in this phase, or I'm frustrated with my assistant, or, I get upset in the business, might actually be tied back to something else that has nothing to do with what I think it is, right?
Group therapy.
It's group therapy.
But I want to know about what you think about the event. Like, what have you liked? What do you, the whole thing.
I genuinely love it. So me and you we weren't stressing, but we put a lot of effort into like thinking like, hey, are they gonna like it? Are they gonna like it? And we haven't done our AAR yet.
Yeah.
But I think it's going pretty okay, right? What I actually genuinely like is the fact that everybody is willing to talk. All right. I mean, we oftentimes as business owners, we isolate ourselves because we tend to think these are my problems to handle. Typically alpha, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
It's like, I got to figure this out. But here, everybody's like, bro, I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
I feel the same thing. This is what worked for me. Have you considered this? And people are willing to open up their ears and take in the different advice.
Receive the feedback.
Right?
Yeah. There's not like the egos or defensiveness here.
None.
It's all just like gratitude for the perspective.
That to me is the best part. Even when we did like you talked about the physical events this morning.
Yeah.
I thought some people were gonna be like, oh, well, with the cola plunge, some people said, hell no, come
The
day
second
2,
day,
right?
Yeah.
But I was thinking that more people were gonna sit out of the activity, and they're like, no, we're gonna do it. Even if we can't do the physical activity, we're still gonna be here. It's still part of the team.
Yeah.
And honestly, I haven't felt this level of camaraderie in a very long time.
Totally.
Since the beginning.
Yeah.
When we really built it together and had all that stuff. So I really enjoyed that part.
What was it like in the beginning?
Dude.
If you could describe.
Oh my God.
5 pillars.
So y'all don't even get it. Like Shelby was talking about, we were in this first off, we called it a bungalow. No, screw that. Let's go back. We were inside of a townhouse in one room, and it was like 3 of us and this stank ass cat that was so disrespectful. Just walk on your face as you're typing, walk across the keyboard. Anyway, but we were so dedicated to the process. It was late nights. We didn't give a fuck. Like, we didn't care.
Yeah.
And we were really pushing through it, and everything was exciting. Every new step of discovery in the journey. And the people we attracted were obsessed. And obsessed is the only way that I can, when people say, I want to do what Shelby did, and I want to do what Mike did. I'm like, I don't think you realized how obsessed we were about the process. And it grew, but we work hard, we play hard. We work hard, we play hard. We were very strict about who we wanted on the team, and we still are selective, but we were very particular. I think it played to our benefit, but we were a little bit immature about the thought of how much work would actually go into it.
And
you know what I mean?
Immature about our value hierarchy.
True. Yes, that was a good point.
I think, because we only valued like what we considered to be like business progress.
Yes.
If it wasn't another property, another closing, more money, or like more, I don't know, like, because we went to conferences, we did tons of podcasts, we did every opportunity to speak, we had the meetup. So if it wasn't like elevating our business, we immediately wrote it off. Like, we were like, feelers are weak.
Yeah.
Don't talk to me. Oh, so I think that's really interesting, that evolution. And realization looking back now, like, it is one of the reasons why we got where we did so quickly. Yeah. But also why we had to change. We both hit like walls where we had to change.
Legitimate burnouts where we're like, we can't do this anymore. We need to switch the entire, concept of the company. What was that turning point for you?
The turning point for me is when I stopped producing personally and when I stopped acquiring investment properties, and I had the identity crisis. Yeah. Where I was like, who am I without being a top performer? Who am I without acquiring rentals? And that's when it like really shook me. Yeah. And my foundation, because I had none.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And yeah, which was so helpful yesterday to kind of bring it back. But you and I have also been through those similar journeys where we had to rediscover our foundation before we could even explore anything else.
Right.
Very interesting. But I think the Pillars have come a long way,
Totally.
and I'm proud of everything that we've built together. But I'm especially proud of where we are right now in the journey. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As we're growing, we're starting our families, we're doing all these other things, and yet we're still being able to impact the lives of others, but more importantly, just creating the space for everybody to impact among themselves. You know what I mean? It's
It was beautiful.
It really is. It really is.